you. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back in North Carolina. What North Carolina needs is what America craves. It's not a rubber stamp. It's not another go along to get along politician. It's not another cog in the wheel. What America craves is a dragon slayer, and that dragon slayer is Dr. Greg Brannon. Some say we should just dilute our message. Let's become Democrat light. Anybody for that? No. Some say if we just hold hands and along the way, we won't believe in anything anymore. We don't have to believe anything, we just have to win elections. Is that what we're here for? No! I came to North Carolina today because, one, I'm fond of North Carolina. I spent 7 years in Durham. When I think of Carolina, I think of the Carolina Bluebird. Not the Tar Heels so much, but I'm here today because Greg Brannon is a believer, and we need true believers in Congress. We got enough of Democrat light up there, all right? We got enough people who don't stand for anything or won't change the system. The status quo is strong in Washington. Leviathan has grown too large. We cannot settle for any old politician anymore. The time is running short, and there will be repercussions. There will be repercussions to what we have sowed. We are borrowing over $1 million a minute. As we stand here, the debt clock spirals out of control. Send us a champion. Send us a hero. Send us a dragon slayer. Send us Greg Brannon. Kay Hagan's in trouble. Yes! She's in big trouble. Why? Because she disrespects you. She thinks she's smarter than all of North Carolina combined. She thinks she knows what's best for you. She thinks she knows what kind of insurance you should buy, and if you don't buy what she says, it's inadequate. She has chosen coercion over freedom. And at the same time, though, they speak out of both sides of their mouth. They say, oh, but if you like your doctor, you can keep him or her. Liar! It turns out it's not true. She said we could keep our doctor, but it's not true. She said we could keep our insurance, but it's not true, because she thinks she knows better than all of us combined. That's it. I like that. Fire, Kay Hagan. I say if you like your doctor, send him to the Senate. But make no mistake, this debate over health care is not so much just about health care. It's about freedom versus coercion. It's about whether your government has become so arrogant that they decide what type of insurance you can have, where you go. Is it more important that you have mandatory diet counseling, or that when you get cancer you can choose your doctor? It has gotten literally out of control, and this arrogance in Washington is why we need a doctor who understands health care up there. But it's not just health care. Your politicians, they've got their hands in your pocket. They're stealing your money, your hard-earned labor. But they've also got your hand in your pocket because they're checking out what your text message is, what your email is. If you have a cell phone in America, you are under surveillance. I tell them, you know what? It's none of your damn business what I do on my cell phone. As conservatives, we've always defended the Second Amendment. But if you want to defend the Second Amendment, you got to defend the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. You saw what happened when they released a list of who has a gun and who doesn't have a gun. Up in New York, they thought it was a brilliant idea to release the list of everybody that has a weapon and who doesn't. So if you don't have one, you're easy pickings for the burglars. If you do have one, you may well be a target for those who want to steal your guns. What if you're a woman who's been battered in a relationship and you have a gun to protect yourself from a batterer? Do you want your address and name to be in the newspaper? Our records are private and should remain ours unless a judge says there's probable cause. Nobody should be looking at our records. Woo. I'm honored to have been on the stage with Clarence Henderson. There was a time in our history that is an awful stain, and I thank people like Clarence Henderson from getting our country and moving it forward. But I tell people, you can be a minority because of the color of your skin or the shade of your ideology. You can be a minority because you believe in God, believe our rights come from God. You believe that there's right and wrong, that's good and bad, there's sin and there's evil. You can be a minority. There's going to come a day in our country, if we're not careful, where they will come into our churches and talk about what we can say in our churches. We need to remember that government came after. Government came into being in order to restrain the government, to protect our rights, but our rights precede government and our rights come from God. In Washington, we have a lot of problems. We do have a lot of empty partisanship. People just line up because of party, and we're getting nowhere. I think as a physician, Greg Brannon will look beyond the party label. He's not going to change and not be a conservative or someone who believes in liberty and the Constitution, but as physicians, we're given problems and we're supposed to find solutions. And we look at it regardless of that. There are many things I've worked with on trying to protect our Fourth Amendment rights and our right to privacy with some of the most liberal Democrats. I don't look at their party label, I look at what we can do to try to fix the problems and protect the Constitution. Greg Brannon will be that fighter. Big government will not wither on the vine. It's not going away easy. You get somebody up there who's a rubber stamp or who's Democrat light, it goes on and on. In fact, some of our big government programs, frankly, came from Republicans.
That's right.
You need fighters. You need someone who will go up there who's not afraid to be unelected, who's not afraid to come back to North Carolina and work for a living. You need somebody who doesn't fear the establishment and will fight the status quo. That is Greg Brannon. But big government will not wither on the vine. If we want to stem the tide, if we want to protect our liberties, we will need a dragon slayer. I give you that dragon slayer, Greg Brannon.